Now on CoastTV News.
A fire destroys this Rehoboth Beach home, what firefighters say they encountered in the Bay Vista neighborhood. Development plans back on the agenda. What part of a 433-acre proposal in Lewis goes in front of Sussex County Council on Tuesday? Students and staff showcasing their projects during this year's Coast Day in Lewis, how they're helping protect our coastlines.
Speaking of the coastlines, we have a warmer week ahead as temps are expected to escalate into the 80s.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
The current Clear Space Theater, a new home proposed for it in a few hours. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Thank you for staying up with us after Sunday Night Football. You're looking at Clear Space Theater's current location on Baltimore Avenue, but a proposed partnership between the city of Rehoboth Beach and the theater will be discussed this Monday. It includes a new location at the current Cape Henlopen Senior Center. Under the proposal, Clear Space would lease the land for $1 a year. Rehoboth would contribute $1 million to Clear Space's capital campaign and waive permit fees. And the city would get revenue through ticket fees and parking. For those not familiar, here is where the Cape Henlopen Senior Center is, on Christian Street between the Avenue and Philadelphia Street. The Senior Center already has plans to move out of town to Hebron Road. In April, we spoke with Clear Space about their plans to move, as the theater at that time weighed a move to Lewis.
Trying to be very thoughtful about what this region is going to need, not just tomorrow or in 5 years, but in 25 or 35 years, because what we build, we're going to build to be sustainable for the long term.
The Rehoboth Clear Space Agreement will be discussed Monday morning there at City Hall. And this new potential partnership comes just a few years after Clear Space tried to build a new theater on Rehoboth Avenue. It was about 4 years of back and forth with the city over approvals, denials, reversals of decisions. Clear Space even filed a lawsuit that was eventually dropped, as were plans for the new theater on the Avenue. Now that lot's now becoming some new buildings. We have an article about all of this right now on CoastTV.com. New tonight, firefighters in Rehoboth battled this blaze in the Bay Vista neighborhood Sunday afternoon. The Rehoboth Beach Volunteer Fire Company says around 5:30 p.m. they arrived to this mobile home engulfed in flames. The structure is a total loss. Good news, firefighters said the man who lived there got out okay. Nobody was hurt, but some neighboring structures were damaged. The cause is under investigation. This Tuesday is the next legislative hearing re-examining statewide property reassessment. The hearing will include presentations and committee questioning of officials from Kent and Sussex counties. Last year's court-ordered reassessment was the first in decades and left many homeowners with higher property tax and school tax bills. Last week, the first hearing was held where lawmakers pressed Tyler Technologies, the company behind the reassessment, on how they calculated new property values. The company explained it's an approach, but a pending lawsuit tied to an August bill kept many specifics off the table. Local lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say the goal of the hearing was to get answers about what went wrong during the process.
Since we hadn't done it in 40 or 50 years, we're setting the platform, the groundwork to be able to do something more responsibly in the future and more equitably as well.
The counties are the ones that are doing this process. If there's pain points that they're saying that it's something that they're limited to in Delaware code, we want to get that information so that we can change that so that they can be more successful in the appeals process or the reassessment process, so that the next time this is done, we're not in the same situation that we're in now.
Tuesday's hearing is at 9:30 a.m. It's the second of 4 investigating Delaware's recent statewide property reassessment. At Sussex County Council on Tuesday, Council will hear another request relating to the Northstar development you see here on Route 9 and Beaver Dam Road in Lewis. Developers want to change about 13 acres of the 433-acre property into almost 100,000 square foot commercial space. The commercial component is just one part. In May, Sussex County Council approved a request to rezone part of that land for apartments. Up to 94 units are designated as affordable. The proposal for the construction of 758 homes has already gotten the green light, though some locals still have concerns.
We do need affordable housing, but we also need to have the infrastructure to get people back and forth. I mean, It goes hand in hand. I mean, first you should plan the infrastructure and then do the building.
The change of zone request goes in front of council on Tuesday. Planning and zoning recommended approval last year. This commercial plan at Northstar was last in front of Sussex County Council in March. At the same meeting, County Administrator Todd Lawson is bringing a recently wrapped land use reform group's recommendations and report to Sussex County Council. The hope is to change how the county handles development and growth. For months, 10 stakeholders from various fields like environmentalists and developers and farmers met. The group came up with 20 recommendations. They include working with DelDOT to make sure there's enough road infrastructure before new developments are built, charging developers a transportation impact fee in certain conservation areas, preserving forests, and a master plan zoning ordinance for large-scale development.
Can't cherry pick now. This is not a menu. This is a package of recommendations.
Council will hear the recommendations and take next steps this Tuesday at 12. In Lewis, Coast Day featured everything from drones that monitor the sea floor to hands-on lessons about water quality. At the UD campus, students and staff showcased their latest projects. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe takes us there.
3, 2, 1.
Thousands took time out of their day to enjoy another year of Coast Day. The event at the University of Delaware campus in Lewis is focused on all things environment and showcasing what experts are doing to protect it right now. Whether it's learning about sea life, taking a tour along the boat, joining educational sessions, or talking with students and staff about their research projects. One of those projects, a drone called Wingtra, is designed to monitor coastal environments from above. It's been used for dredging work and to assess damage after major storms.
We were just out for Hurricane Erin and we got some surveys before and after, and we were able to develop some models showing sediment loss and volume differences before and after that storm.
Jesse Leppo, who was born and raised in Lewis, loves going to Coast Day.
Benefits the environment. We like that especially.
His favorite part?
Is all the people. Nobody's staying at home. Everybody's coming out to see all kinds of neat things.
Samantha Cotton with DenRec helps promote water quality and says there are simple ways you can make a difference at home, like planting a rain garden.
When you have rain or storm events that happen in your yard, there might be some low spots there where water isn't really draining well. So the whole purpose of putting in a rain garden is you're kind of able to open up that soil a little bit more and have the water actually flow through.
With hundreds of activities and hands-on learning opportunities at Coast Day, Greco says it's especially meaningful for young people who might one day follow in her footsteps.
Kids that are so interested in what I've been spending my time doing, and hopefully they see that it's both doable and interesting and important work.
As Coast Day continues to bring thousands of people together, it's all in an effort to protect and preserve our coast. I'm Kevin Zappe in Lewis, Coast TV News.
Take a look and see the Millsboro bypass in full swing. The road has been open for over a week, getting traffic out of downtown Millsboro. On Wednesday, Millsboro leaders will hear any updates on data DelDOT has compiled since the opening of the bypass. But that's not all. Millsboro's DelDOT committee will also speak with the agency about a traffic signal at Plantation Lakes, slowing down speed limits on Route 24, adding a new four-way stop at Delaware Avenue and Route 24, and more. That's Wednesday at 10:30 at Millsboro Town Hall. 2 people were hurt Saturday morning in a 3-car crash in Harbison. The Indian River Volunteer Fire Company says it happened on Indian Mission Road and John Healy Drive Saturday morning, closing the road for a while. Monday morning on Coast TV News, Milton Town Council meets 4 of the key issues they're tackling. And then coming up Monday evening, bird watching is a hobby playing ecological importance actually right here on the coast.
And on the coast this week, we'll be steaming our way up into the 80s.
And after that, an end to country calling, more from the Eastern Shore's latest music festival. Don't go anywhere. We're back in just 60 seconds.
I guess a quick preview of this week goes like this. We're looking for all kinds of sunshine for Monday and most of Tuesday, but then Tuesday night going into Wednesday, that's when a little bit of rain is going to kind of make things a little wet by midweek. And then we're going to really start feeling like, well, a nice crisp fall feel will be in the air by then, by the time we get to Thursday, Friday. But right now, we're just copacetic, holding at about 62 degrees right now. Dew point temperatures. We're going to talk about the dew point temperatures because they're going to go on the increase. It's going to change things, make them wobble a little bit throughout the work week. Now, we're in the 60s, generally speaking, right now, throughout all the inland areas, as well as what we have right now along the beaches. We're holding at 61 degrees in Milton as well as Redden. The winds are currently moving directly out of the south, relatively light for right now, but they are going to be shifting out of the southwest, and that's going to make it start feeling a little warmer, if not a little bit on the muggier side of things. Now, I mention that because we typically don't talk about muggy situations in the fall, but that's what makes the forecast just that unique for us right now. Overnight, we'll see some cloud cover in place, but then by noon tomorrow, right around lunchtime, we'll clear out and enjoy beautiful, brilliant sunshine. Now, notice by Tuesday morning, we have thick cloud cover and a couple of blotches of green here. Most of this green's not reaching the ground. This is pretty much virga. It's when it rains aloft and it doesn't quite reach it around. That's going to be mainly virga. But we will have a milky skyline. It's going to be very cloudy for a good portion of Tuesday. Now, Tuesday evening going to early Wednesday, here's where the green comes in and it makes good on its promise. That green representing the precipitation or rain that we expect. Now, we'll have some heavier showers in the extreme southwest corner of Sussex County, but overall, just widespread scattered showers for the most part. Now, let's talk about those dew point temperatures. Now, the dew point temperatures make you feel muggy, depending on just how high they go. And if it feels like a summer day, a lot of times it depends on the dew point temperature. Well, we're in the 50s for now, or at 50s and 60s. Now, here's a look at the prediction. By the time we get to Monday, we're still in the lower 60s. Monday's a fall-feeling day. Watch this. Like magic here, right? We go a little bit further in the timeline. By Tuesday morning, we're at 65, and then we go up to like 68. 68, this is summer-like stuff here. In the morning, true, but still, it's summer-like feel because it's in the upper 60s to near 70s, so that's why we have to watch out for that. So when you look at the dew point trend, last week, we were definitely a lot lower, but this week, we're going to be climbing up and possibly hitting humid for a while till we hit Wednesday, then it drops dramatically and it bottoms all the way out to just flat-out dry. With that being the case, here's a look at your raking forecast. Monday, rain's not a problem. Green light on Tuesday. But by Wednesday, it's going to be wet, particularly ground early is going to be a bit on the wet side. And yes, it's that time, fellas, from me to you. It's time to get ready to pull out all that gear. It's time to get ready for the fall, going into the holiday season. Here we go with the cleanup crew outside, right? 79 degrees, not only in Georgetown, but also in Laurel, as well as Seaford. We're looking for 76 in Cambridge, and we're looking for a high of 77 degrees in Ocean City, as well as Berlin and Snow Hill. Now, for Monday, we're looking for temperatures in the 70s as well, but abundance of sunshine for Monday. And the winds out of the west, if not the west, the southwest. So we're going to be in a constant warming trend. So we're looking for a high of about 77 degrees, right on that range for Monday. Tuesday, we get warmer. We start off near 60, and we end up in the 80s easily, if not prior to that by the time we get to Monday. Our chances of rain will hold off until we get to, let's say, Tuesday and Wednesday. It skyrockets tremendously because here's a look at what's happening. It approaches by midnight. By Wednesday, we're looking for a slice of rain to start at 8 o'clock in the morning, last throughout most of the day, and then clear out of the way. So we're looking for rain on Wednesday, both in Assateague and Chincoteague. And we anticipate scattered showers for us in the Ocean City and 71 on Wednesday, a bit wet on Wednesday and Fenwick Island as well. And then on Lewis, we're looking for Wednesday wet weather, and it's going to be a bit on the cloudy side, drizzly, wet and rainy roads, and wet roads rather, at Rehoboth Beach. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. And look for that rain on Wednesday. After that, we start cooling down for real like it's a fall day.
Thank you, Paul. The Country Calling Music Festival brought locals and tourists alike to the beach to hear some country music all weekend long. One festival goer says he enjoyed hearing new artists this weekend.
3 days of great country music. I'm loving it all. I've been very impressed by the talent that they have brought in here. Some guys that I've never heard of that I will definitely be downloading some of their songs.
Local businesses said Country Calling brought a lot to OC this weekend. The Delaware DMV wants to remind you don't have to go to the DMV for everything you need. The DMV on-the-go trailer has a number of services, like if you need to change your address or complete some title work. It's available 10 to 2 at the following locations: Monday at the Lewis Transit Center, Tuesday at Milton Shear, Thursday at Harbor Freight in Seaford. The government shutdown is affecting more than national parks and food benefits. Friday was supposed to bring the government's latest jobs report, but the government shutdown delayed that release. Now, Karen Kaifa shows us businesses, job hunters, and investors are without that insight at a crucial time.
In the midst of a government shutdown on Friday morning, the latest government employment data was a mystery even to U.S. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer.
Usually we get the reports the day before, and I haven't seen that for this month.
The delay of the release of the September jobs report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics means Wall Street investors, Main Street businesses, and consumers have one less piece of the economic puzzle to make important financial decisions.
It's not like all the data goes away, but it's certainly one source that a lot of people pay attention to could be quite delayed.
One private data source, the ADP payroll report released Wednesday, estimated the private sector lost 32,000 jobs during September. With healthcare and education adding jobs, most other sectors slumping, and small businesses with fewer than 50 employees shedding more jobs than larger companies.
There's been this wait and see from employers in terms of whether they're going to hire. We've seen a number of employers, for other reasons, decide that they are going to contract their workforces, and so we're seeing those announcements as well.
If a shutdown drags on and continues to stall the release of future economic reports, the Federal Reserve could be without key data when they meet for their next move on interest rates at the end of the month. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
A new Canadian study says emotional well-being is just as important for physical health for longevity. Researchers looked at more than 8,000 people over 60 and found 1 in 4 were able to deliberately improve their health and happiness in just 3 years. Follow me on this one. The key factors were social support, positive mindset, and healthy habits. Shopping for Halloween costumes just got more expensive. How much more Halloween is expected to cost this year due to tariffs? That story and more still to come. Millions of people who rely on food stamps and family aid through federal programs are at risk of losing assistance during the government shutdown. As Jen Sullivan reports, these crucial programs are now relying on reserve funds until the government passes a new spending plan.
This is baby Zave. He's now 1.5 and thriving. But his mom, Ashley Vasquez, says that wasn't always the case.
He just didn't have an appetite and he wasn't putting on weight.
Zave was put on special nutritional drinks that his family received through WIC, federal-funded program for women, infants, and children. It provides aid to more than 6 million low-income families to help cover expenses for food, breastfeeding support, and health education. But that money could soon be at risk if the government shutdown continues.
For really young children whose sole source of nutrition may be infant formula, the loss of WIC would be absolutely devastating because their families don't have other options.
Nell Menifee-Leiby with the National WIC Association says if the government doesn't pass a spending bill within the next 2 weeks, funding will likely run out.
That really puts us in a crisis point very quickly.
Funding for other assistance programs like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP could also be at risk. Roughly 42 million people depend on SNAP to help cover groceries. October's benefits were already sent out, but come November 1st, it's unclear whether people will receive assistance as politicians continue to debate.
Republicans refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credit.
This is not about health care. This is about Democrats wanting to show their progressive left base that they are fighting against Donald Trump.
Meanwhile, it leaves vulnerable parents like Ashley Vasquez unsure how they're going to pay for their families. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Locally, the Food Bank of Delaware says it is bracing for cuts too. The Food Bank of Delaware says during the government shutdown, they're expecting even more people, especially federal employees, to need the food bank's help. Locally in Delaware, the food bank thinks SNAP will be okay through the month, but they're not sure after that.
It's worrisome for us in terms of the people that we serve. We know that that so many individuals are just barely getting by, making ends meet, and I don't know that anyone could plan for not having a paycheck.
The food bank tells CoastTV they're always in need of food and fund donations any time of the year. As for when the government could reopen, the Senate so far has taken 4 failed votes to advance a bill that would keep the government open through November 21st. In the House, Speaker Mike Johnson designated next week as a district work period, meaning no votes are scheduled. On Monday, Rehoboth Beach is reviewing a $21.3 million bid for improvements to the wastewater treatment plant this Monday. Now, this is the final phase of what's been a multi-year upgrade process, expected to last almost 15 years before more work is needed. Sussex County will cover 2/3 of the cost based on wastewater flows. Town officials warn that sewer rates may increase to cover these costs. New tonight, California Governor Gavin Newsom says he will sue the Trump administration after it federalized 300 California National Guard troops and deployed them to Oregon. The announcement comes just one day after a federal judge temporarily blocked President Donald Trump's attempts to deploy Oregon's National Guard troops to Portland. After the break here on Coast TV News, tackling tariffs on to Halloween and getting a flu shot. 3 places to get it on the go here in Sussex County. Up next. The Delaware Division of Public Health's Mobile Health Unit is rolling into Sussex County this week, offering flu shots, testing for diabetes, and more. The unit is free. DPH says translators are available. The unit will be at the Milford Public Library on Tuesday and the Georgetown Recovery Hub on Wednesday from 10 to 3. The countdown to Halloween begins, but this year, tariffs have put a terrifying effect on spending. The National Retail Federation projects consumers will spend $13.1 billion this year on Halloween. That's with a B, and it would be a new record. Jen Sullivan looks at what will cost more this year.
It's October, and that means rolling out the pumpkins, ghosts, and goblins. But the most frightful thing about Halloween this year may just be the prices as shoppers feel the impact of tariffs and inflation.
Tariffs this year are on people's minds.
Catherine Cullen with the National Retail Federation says they saw people start shopping in September or earlier for Halloween because they're worried items will cost more, so they're spreading out their purchases.
Many of those costs haven't yet been passed on to consumers. It is impacting certain goods differently. We may be seeing it a little bit more in non-durable goods.
President Donald Trump implemented tariffs on a variety of imported goods to encourage companies to make products in the U.S. According to the Alliance for American Manufacturing, virtually all Halloween costumes on the market are imported, which means they'll be subject to tariffs. But Cohen says tariffs have affected certain goods differently.
Less than a quarter of tariff costs have been passed on to consumers.
Trick or treat! Candy and sweets prices are also up from a year ago, according to the latest Consumer Price Index. Shoppers are spending more on Halloween this year. The NRF says people are spending about $114 per person. That's nearly $11 more than last year.
In times of uncertainty, and we've seen this starting with the pandemic, during times of inflation and others, people are turning to these celebrations, these fun holidays where no matter what's going on in the world, you can dress up in something fun.
If those prices are giving you a scare, there are ways to save. Cullen suggests shopping at discount stores, reusing decorations, and getting crafty with costumes and decor. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
After the break here on Coast TV News, as we take a live look outside, one final check on your forecast when Coast TV News continues in just a few moments.
Well, let's take a look at where we are right now. Our dry tech camera at 67 degrees in Ocean City with the winds out of the southwest at about 6 miles per hour. For your runner's cast, we're looking for the winds pushing out of the north, staying relatively calm. And we look for temperatures to climb into the 70s and stay there. Now, overall, quick look at the tropical outlook. We're keeping a close eye on possible formation that's going to be happening for us. A high probability of it. We'll keep a close eye on it. Hasn't formed into a storm just yet, but we will continue to keep a very watchful eye on that. By the way, you can call and get your latest information courtesy of our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's a look at your 10-day forecast. We're looking for an 81 for the high on Monday with plenty of sunshine. Now, we are going to have a couple of days where temperatures will stay in the 80s, and this is going to be the last couple of days of real summer-type feel out, and the moisture content in the atmosphere is going to go really high, setting us up for a chance of rain late Tuesday going into Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm looking at pretty much an all-day on and off again rain event. So if there's any day where I would say good for you to, well, enter and try to win one of our umbrellas, but definitely win the umbrella. That would be on Wednesday with cloudy skies. Then we'll clear out with the cold front pushing through. And I'm a little bit shaky on what's happening Thursday night going into Friday because I'm expecting for the temperatures to climb into or fall into the lower 40s. And we could possibly see some outlying areas out in the country where it's going to dip into the 30s. Then partly to mostly clear skies on Friday and Saturday. And then another round of rain will come to greet us by the time we get to next Sunday this time, going into Monday. Highs will be in the 60s and lows will be in the 50s. So it's going to be a very gray, dismal kind of kickoff for next week. But overall, we're getting a chance to get just one more last hurrah from summertime for Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures climbing into the lower 80s. And we'll have a very slight chance of rain trying to develop on Tuesday afternoon, but mainly after midnight Tuesday night, we're looking for downpours to stay plenteous. And don't be surprised if we have concerns for coastal flooding in our area.
All right, Paul, thank you. Well, here's a happy story. Dewey is going to the dogs in a good way. The town says it realized its dog water fountain was a little too tall for the small dogs. So Dewey's maintenance supervisor created a step stool so all the dogs down there on the beach can hydrate. That is the conclusion of our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for staying with us after Sunday Night Football. For more local news and hyper-local weather, you can download our CoastTV News app and our weather app while you're at it. We'll see you in just a few hours. CoastTV News Today starts at 5 a.m. Until then, be safe and have a great night.